All right, guys, the Jazz lose a tough one in New York against the New York Knicks. This is James Hansen, and this is the SLC Dunk postgame show. So I thought the Jazz would come into this stadium, and I thought the Knicks were actually going to blow out the Jazz because the Knicks have been pretty darn good this year. Uh, Kristaps Porzingis is a legit MVP candidate, and Ntilikina has been a nice rookie for them. Uh, with the Jazz, with how many injuries they've had, I thought that really they'd probably buckle under just Porzingis' greatness, because Porzingis is just a legitimate, incredible player that has done so many good things for the Knicks. But the Jazz stayed tight with them, and they hit shots. Two major stories for the Jazz for this. We'll probably talk about those in a minute, but I do want to talk about the Knicks first. I've got to admit, guys, the Knicks are my number 2 team. I am a Jazz fan first, but I grew up with my grandpa being a Knicks fan, so I grew up loving John Stockton and Karl Malone. But I also enjoyed watching John Starks and Patrick Ewing and Charles Oakley and all those guys. So for me, I always kind of root for the Knicks a little bit just because they're kind of my East Coast team. It's just fun. It's better when the Knicks are good. They're just a fun team. And I honestly, when my favorite stadium for the Jazz to go play in is Madison Square Garden. It's just it gets rocking. It's fun that they have all the celebrities there. You get to see during the game. You saw Chris Rock and Evander Holyfield. The atmosphere is great. Knick fans, you're awesome fans, guys. You're awesome, and I'm actually happy for Knick fans with Porzingis, what he's becoming. I mean, we all kind of had a feeling he would be good. I don't think we had any idea he would be this good. The things that Porzingis is doing right now are incredible. It's not I mean, I don't want to rag on Melo too much because that happens a lot, but you can see with this Knicks team that team really runs through Porzingis, and because he's such a dominant force on offense and on defense, on blocking shots, he just opens everything up for everyone. So this Knicks team could be really exciting pretty soon. I mean, they have some cap issues that are kind of frustrating gifts from Phil Jackson, but Ntilikina's nice, and Porzingis is a legit MVP candidate, top 5 player in the league right now, and I'm not scared to say something like that because he's that good. The Knicks are fun, and Tim Hardaway Jr. I don't get to watch the Knicks a lot, but he killed the Jazz tonight with a dagger. So good for Knicks fans. You've got a team that's really fun to watch. Finally, the ball moves. One of the things I've noticed with the Jazz. And obviously smaller scale. I'm not comparing Donovan to Porzingis, but just kind of the fact that Porzingis, what he does on offense is he just shoulders that burden and that load for the Knicks, and it just allows every other player to be their best selves. They can have a little bit of freedom because the Jazz have to like double Porzingis. They have to watch what he's doing. And when you have a player that can get doubled like Porzingis is, and he still puts up stats, tonight the Jazz actually did a pretty good job against Ntilikina. I think they held him to let's see, Porzingis scored 19 on 8 for 19 shooting. So for Porzingis, that's off. For a lot of players, they'd love to have that stat line, but for Porzingis, who's so dang good, that's a little low. But anyways, what we're seeing with the Jazz is with Donovan Mitchell's play, he is kind of shouldering that offensive burden a little bit that he wasn't able to at the beginning of the year, and it's actually opening up the Jazz offense tonight. That's why the Jazz were able to kind of play against the Knicks and roll with the Knicks tonight. The other thing is that the Jazz kind of found a nice boost from Jonas Jerebko tonight, who paired with Derek Favors really opened things up. It makes you really, that's going to be interesting when Rudy Gobert comes back. You saw kind of the absence of Rudy tonight. I think the Jazz honestly win tonight if Rudy Gobert plays, but do they win tonight if Derek Favors starts or if Jonas Jerebko starts? Because Jerebko was hitting threes and was a big contributor for Utah. So let's see, Jerebko 3 for 9 from the field, but those 3 shots were 3-pointers. So he was 3 for 7 from 3, 42%. That's big time. And what that does is that spreads the floor. It allows players like Mitchell and Hood to have a little bit of space so they can work. That's the second story. Is Rodney Hood had a big night tonight. It wasn't big enough to overcome the Knicks. He scores 30 points. I think Hood might have found something here, and I think the Jazz might have found something that Hood coming off the bench, it seems to give him, you can honestly see a visible, his body language just improves, that he's just not as worried about being the guy. When he's coming off the bench, he just worries about playing his role, and his role is to shoot and score. And Rodney did that tonight. Big time threes from Rodney. Donovan Mitchell had his hometown is in New York State. I can't remember exactly if it's New York City exactly. Sorry, Donovan, if you're watching, I don't remember. But anyways, he's from New York, and it was a homecoming for Donovan. He had his whole family here. Just really exciting for Donovan to be able to play so well in front of his family. And honestly, Donovan Mitchell's improvement from game to game is incredible. When you consider where he was when he started, where he was just so wild and just kind of his adrenaline was through the roof. He was like 1 for 17 from the three-point line to start the year. And now where he's putting up, I mean, the first half, Donovan Mitchell put up 17 was just ridiculous. He kind of had a rough second half, which most certainly comes from the Knicks adjusting to cover him. How crazy is it that the rookie for the Jazz, Donovan Mitchell, is now our best offensive player? Obviously, that takes into account the fact that George Hill and Hayward are gone. But if you'd have told me that, over the summer, I'd have been both excited and worried because that means one of two things. We have a really nice rookie. Also means we probably aren't going to win a ton of games. So I honestly, we'll probably end talking about we'll talk about Donovan Mitchell to end tonight because he's just turning into a stud, guys. This team needs to allow Donovan Mitchell to just become everything he can. He's just so smart, so athletic, and he's got the offensive tools and the mentality. He's got everything you could want. And he's proving that he can guard twos and ones, that the height doesn't matter because he has strength, he has quickness, and he has incredible length at 6'3". So just an impressive player the Jazz have that is scoring and putting up points on a regular basis now for Utah. Donovan scored 19 points on 8 for 17 shooting, 50% from the three-point line. Big time stuff from Donovan. Let's see. He also 3 assists, 4 rebounds. He's turning into an absolute stud for this team. And if the Jazz can find a way to get some sort of complimentary piece, whether it's this year, probably not, or next year through the draft, then great. And by the way, not hurting my feelings that we lost tonight. Does that make me terrible? Because guess what? If you put Michael Porter Jr. next to Donovan Mitchell and Dante Exum, and you have Rudy Gobert down there holding down the paint, that's a pretty fun team. Pretty exciting to think about, guys. So the Jazz held tough with a Knicks team that has become very, very good. Porzingis is a legit MVP candidate. He's a ton of fun to watch. I'm very happy for Knicks fans. What's the band name? No more having to complain too much about is it JD and the Straight Shot or something like that? Anyways, Knicks fans, you got a fun team. You got a great rookie in Ntilikina. You got a superstar in Porzingis. Maybe trade us some of your picks, Knicks. Maybe it's time to give us some pick love to the Jazz for giving you this win tonight. All right? That would be great. All right, guys, remember, like and subscribe below. Go to SLC Dunk, read all the articles, read the recaps, learn everything you want about the Utah Jazz and the NBA as a whole, because we're writing about the MVP race. We're writing about the Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. So go to SLC Dunk, guys. Go to read everything. Like and subscribe. Go to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Talk to you later.